David.
Yeah, so let's start over in the D.C. area with the Washington Commanders here. They have a couple of injuries. Terry McLaurin hopes to play week 1. Chase Young hopes to play week 1. But here's the thing with Chase Young. He has not fully participated in practice in 3 weeks because of a stinger. And now he still hasn't been cleared for any contact at all going into week 1, but he hopes to play for week 1. My question for you guys is, not saying his career is over because he'll still play in the league, but the impact that he was supposed to have coming into the draft, he'll never have that again, right?
Well, the problem is he had a unique knee injury. It's not a standard ACL tear. I think there was patella damage in there as well, and very rarely do you tear them at the same time. So we're yet to see what this dude looks like after that. Yeah. Last year, every week it was hopes to play, didn't play. David, I don't know what to say. The stinger thing, Rico, I'm not a doctor, but it shouldn't take 4 weeks for a guy to be ready to play in the opener.
No, if they haven't cleared him by now, chances are he's not going to get cleared. It's for another reason. Maybe he's just saying stinger and the team can't say exactly what it is medically. David, you're right. This guy was supposed to come in and have the impact of a Bosa. He was going to be that guy. He was going to be him. Yeah. A lot of hype. In the brief glimpses that you saw,
he was awesome.
He was that guy, but I don't think he'll ever reach the potential that we all thought that he was going to have.
And they didn't pick up his 5th-year option, and nobody knows his medicals better than they do. So it's why I always said your doctors would have to have a different view of him if you were going to trade for him when all those rumors were coming out.
I think he's going to be like Jadeveon Clowney, but for different reasons, because he's actually hurt, and Clowney just didn't pan out.
Well, up until the last few days, I didn't even know GQ had a sports department, but they do. They had a Caleb Williams story yesterday. Now today, there's a DeAndre Hopkins GQ sports story where he says he contacted the Detroit Lions. They never called him back. He called the Dallas Cowboys and the Giants and San Francisco, and they all did not want him.
Oh, weird. Yeah, or the word's out, you're a jerk. Here's the other thing. Bottom line, players that are coveted don't need to call around shaking their hat for money. It's just what I've told you guys all offseason.
Fair.
The dude is something, and I told you he was not going to have a good ride. He was basically invited to not play football by the Cardinals the last 4 games of the season.
I mean, I think you put it a good way, Mike. If certain players, if all of a sudden Deebo Samuel gets released, 29 other teams are picking up, calling his agent saying, hey, want to fly out here. At least for the Lions part, you couldn't afford to bring him in here, especially because you drafted J-Mo and you're going through that. So you don't need more. You don't need to add more. Just
here's the other thing.
You don't need to add to that wide receiver room with him. If he was going to actually come in and help, I'm sorry.
No,
he's
going
to help and really do something and be a mentor. That's one thing. He wasn't. He was going to be a diva.
He wants, Rico, you nailed it. He wants to be the number 1 target share guy. You already have a guy way better than him. His name is Amon-Ra St. Brown. You needed a number 2. You needed somebody to come in, check the ego at the door, be a professional, play the outside spot. You never wanted him here. But hey, hold on. Don't tell this guy that.
With Richardson, because I think that at least Houston is trying to all row in the same motion, and they realize we've hit rock bottom, and it's going to take a little bit of time to get there. I still don't know. Your owner is sabotaging your own team in Indianapolis. So I got to think Richardson was already not the greatest. I wouldn't have been playing him this early because I do think he has a lot of deficiencies. So I would say, as far as bust rate, I got to go with Richardson.
Yeah, and again, you alienated an all-pro running back. You got a wild card as an owner who could upend what Chris Ballard wants to do. I have no problem with what you're saying there. I wonder.
Because at least in Houston, it feels like they did the most important thing. They stepped up and said, we have a problem.
Yeah, you know what my problem with Stroud is? And I've said this to you for 2 years. How do I put it politely? His face annoys me. He's like a powder. He I don't like his body language. Like, I don't feel like he rises to the occasion. He's got a sad face. I don't know.
I'm ready for you to talk about his mechanics.
No, it's like Eli Manning. Eli's face bothered me, and the mouth breathing, and I don't like it.
That was great. I want to be nice about this.
Right. I was like, okay, maybe he's his mechanics.
I just think
so.
he's
You need
soft.
him to have a good demeanor like Cousins.
No, I think Cousins is fake. I need him to be a leader. I need him to be a dog. I need him to. I just felt like there's always this element that he shrivels in the big moment. You know what? Keep moving on because it's only gonna get worse. Just keep going.
It is so good. Nick Bosa just got a gigantic extension with the 49ers. And then Chris Jones also still holding out because he wants his deal from the Chiefs. I understand the stat you have regarding Chris Jones, the impact he has on and off the field for the Chiefs. But between the two of them, who's more important to their team?
Nick Bosa. I mean, look, Chris Jones is one of the elite interior guys. First of all, this is an unfair question. I mean, they're basically the same. They're linchpin players. But if you're demanding I answer it, I'll always value the 3-down, complete, defensive end guy who can get 18 sacks and destroy teams on first and second down. Slight nod to Bosa, but they're both critical to each team.
Yeah, if I had to choose, and you're right, I would look at what you've been saying for the last couple of days. To me, Bosa is a need. Jones is a want. Because he's more of a third down, you need Bosa out there because he can play every down. Jones, it's a good one, but
he's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, David, that, you know what? I'd like to file this. That's an unfair question.
Okay.
Because you're making me choose, and they're both damn near. I mean, Chiefs with them.
I think it's a good question.
You two.
I'm just trying to
you
get
two
your
are
thoughts.
something else today.
You know what, Mike? He caused us to really. I mean, with the 3-quarterback thing and this one.
Well, that one was good. That last one was unfair.
Well, let me finish it off with this one here because I want to know how.
Cake or ice cream?
Ice cream, easily. Cake sucks.
How does this?
Oh man!
How does this end in Denver? We have the reports of Sean Payton talking about Russell Wilson. Stop kissing the babies. If Russell Wilson does come back somehow and he's back to Russell Wilson,
they'll be good.
Do they trade him because the relationship just doesn't work?
No, I think it has to work. Both sides know it has to work. Peyton has the cachet and the backing of the new ownership. Russell's got a contract no one's touching because he's
how long is that contract till?
Till he's like 40.
Okay.
It has to work. So I just
because I thought maybe if it was short term enough, maybe not trade it, but he just gets released and he goes back to Seattle to kind of finish what he started.
Wouldn't even
They
take
wouldn't
him.
want him back.
They had a chance to pay him twice. They sent his ass out of town.
And that is in football today.